Λοιπόν, έχουμε στην άλλη γραμμή στον θρυλικό James Wlliamson, τον Stooges. Να μην τον αφήνουμε να περιμένει. Hello, James.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very good. How are you doing?
All right, just fine. Welcome to Channel 1. It's a privilege to have you here. So,
my pleasure.
All right. How do you feel, James, really, that the Stooges inducted the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame last year?
Oh, it was fantastic for us. You know, we had this band in particular had really most of its career was never accepted by the music industry, and so this was finally some vindication for all of that and some recognition of this band.
Yeah. One of my favorite albums ever is Rock Power, James. How was it really during the recording of this album? What was the feeling, you know?
Well, you know, it's probably different for everybody in the band, but for me, you know, this was my first album in a studio, and so it was very, very exciting, and you know, I really didn't know what to expect so much. I mean, I had done some demos, but being in a studio for an entire album, the process was unfamiliar to me. So I was just having a great time, and we were just all, we didn't have anybody supervising us, so we kind of could do what we wanted to do, and that's what ended up.
Yeah. James, the chemistry between you and Iggy Pop is amazing. Can you give us a short description of the man behind the myth, if I may say so? You know, I'm talking about the man behind the character.
Well, you know, I don't know that you can exactly separate it, because it really isn't a character.
Yeah.
That really is him, but it's a different part of him. And I think if you get the very deeply personal side, he's a very almost shy guy, really. Not so much anymore, but really a very sensitive person and very generous and kind person, and very, very intelligent. And so, you know, that's just the other side of him, the people who get to know him well experience. And then as a singer, you know, of course, you have to be extroverted or you can't do the job, and so he developed a kind of a part of himself to do that too, but it's all the same guy.
Yeah. James, another album that absolutely I adore is New Values, a unique album. Tell us a few words about it.
Well, New Values was something that happened later on, and in the kind of the late 70s, and I had already, you know, sort of retired from the music business by then, and had been working in a recording studio and so on. And so anyway, Iggy decided he wanted to do some more stuff with me, and so he asked if I would produce that album, and I decided I would. And so I really didn't play on the album other than one song that I had co-written with him, but it was I think it was a labor of love. We had a lot of really good musicians, Scott Thurston, who had played with the band, and a bunch of other great musicians that spent a lot of effort putting that together, and so we're very proud of that.
And what about the legendary Kill City?
Yeah, well, Kill City was a whole other story. I mean, that was sort of our last attempt to get a record contract. You know, we had been passed over by Columbia after Raw Power, and the band had split up after the Michigan Palace show that's you know, recorded in Metallica. And so we were just, Iggy and I, just trying to put together some songs that we felt like the record companies might want us to do, and so that resulted in a demo tape, which was later you know, mixed and you know, some further development done on, and that was released as Kill City.
Are there any new plans for the Stooges? A new album, maybe?
We hope so. You know, the right now we've had some time off and we've been writing some new material, and I think what we agreed on within the band is that we want to make sure that everybody in the band agrees that the songs are good and that the performances are good and that they're up to the level of the previous Stooges material that we've released before. But given all that, we would like to release some new material. Maybe not a whole album yet. We'll just have to feel it out. Maybe just some singles or things like that, because really albums are kind of irrelevant these days.
How do you feel, James, that Rock Power was something like a Bible for the generation of punk? Everyone did covers of the album. Was it that much ahead of its time back in '73?
Well, you know, I think it's still ahead of its time today.
Yeah.
Nothing else sounded like it before or since, and it's just a unique piece of work. Certainly a lot of guys that would later, create the kind of punk movement were either at the first show that we did in England or listened to that album a lot. And so I think, yes, it did have a big influence on people. The super, power chord, real aggressive guitar style, and the kind of the lyric, the vocal delivery from Iggy and so forth. So yeah, it did. I don't feel myself as being a punk or a metal guy or any of those kind of labels, but yeah, it did have an influence on those folks.
All right, James, thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure. Very nice to talk to you.
Okay, speak again.